should be. Yeah, theoretically, soon.
Oh, looks like, yes, there you are on nothing. Oh, here comes YouTube. Twitch
And it
was first.
should work. Twitch is first. Twitch is quick.
Yep. And YouTube is now live as well. We double check your sound.
Great. Okay. Checking the sound. Seeing all this stuff. Feeling good. Feeling excited.
Sound is good.
Sound is good?
Sound is good.
Great.
And I'll do your I'll do a little note on chat real quick.
And is YouTube up and running?
Yep. Hi,
Awesome.
okay.
Oh, I see you on Twitch. Let me go make sure. Oh yeah, and connected to Trailbound Sketches, so it should be it.
And then you should have one from YouTube as well.
Hello, Fantasy. Welcome, welcome. Oh, great. Okay, we're all set. Oh, perfect. Cool. Well, today we are sketching because we have no wilderness to get in the way. Okay. Well, Jen, I'll hang up, and I think we're good to go. Okay, great. Yep. Great.
Bye.
See ya. Hello. Welcome. Let the sketching begin. Oh my gosh. I feel like it's been a long time coming now. Let's add dragons to the picture. Ooh, there's an idea. Like that. Well, the fun thing too is we've got like all of this. We can kind of add whatever we want. This is can I show you? Whoops. So this is the picture so far. Oh, that is super wibbly. Lots of wobbling, lots of wibbling. Well, what do I do here? Be right back. Gotta add one thing. But yeah, so this is the sketch right here, as you can see. And I think there's a couple fun things that we can kind of add around and along. Should make it even more fun. I like the idea of dragons. That's a great idea. Hello, maker of critters. Welcome. And maybe I should just use this. Put this right here. Yeah, I'll do that. Excited to paint on mine. I found some digital watercolor brushes on Procreate, and I'm gonna try a digital version. Ooh, very exciting. I do think digital watercolors are absolutely amazing, especially because you can kind of you have like the undo ability too, which is kind of what makes watercolor exciting. It's a bit like a free solo, I think, but the ability to kind of switch stuff over is pretty cool. Got to admit. Okay, so that's gonna live right here. Let's see. There we go. Do that right there. And I'm just gonna click a button and then we're gonna start. Hope you're ready. Okay, there's this, and click. Oh no, that's wrong. I want to do a time lapse because it's always fun kind of seeing them exist. Hi, Tina. Welcome everybody back to the normal side of things. Okay, and here is that. Okay, well, I'm going to jump. I think my thought is I'm going to just jump right in, if that sounds good, before I kind of wobble all over the place. This is the sketch. We have it on the Discord, too. If anybody wants to sketch along as well, you'll be able to find it there. And I am going to try to capture this in case anybody can't be around for this. I'll be able to kind of add all of it for you later as well. But I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's see. I've got to turn this one on. What's going on here? What's wrong with this? Ah, that's what's wrong. When you realize it's not the technology, it's you. Oh yeah, Discord under live streams. Yep, that's where you can find it. Did you teach the chickens to watercolor? Not yet, although they honestly could. Like, they are so food motivated. Have I eaten today? Yes, I did breakfast. Not a huge one, but we're doing, we got the tea, so we're set there. As a start, it is a start. Speaking of starts, let's begin this here. I'm just gonna make this go out a little bit. Scoot this over so you can kind of see where we're at. And click a button. Some button somewhere up here. Is it this one? Yes. All right, that button's going. And now I'll click one of these buttons too, and I think it'll be time to sketch away. So we're going to start with, I don't even know where to start. Where should we start? Start anywhere here. There we go. That was the stomach. Okay, one quick clap. There's the slate. So I'm thinking this is gonna be kind of the top, like like night, morning, afternoon, evening. So we'll have kind of the full series, if that sounds good. Good morning. Did you get some help getting all your gear down Sunday? I did, yes. Eve's dad, my father-in-law, I took one bag down. He came up and did the other bag for me. So he ran all the way to the top and did the other bag, which is wildly kind of him. Yeah, yeah. It was that was a mercy. I'm gonna start to so I have, this is where I was right here on this little pinnacle. I'm gonna add a little version of a person on each of these. But if you want to paint along too, you can add anything. Dragons, dogs, people. I've got a little tent right there too. But you could add a little person any there. We're there. And so I'm gonna add a little sleeping person in a chair right here, I think. One chair right there. And then on this one, let's see, I'll put, this is the sunrise. I'll put a little person maybe way over here with nobody right here, aside from the empty chair. And then right here, we'll just put tons and tons of people and racers and runners. So I should add lots of these little people. The trick with people too is you don't do much detail. You just add a couple little people, and you're in good shape. Put some people up here as well. And the idea, like I like this too, because I've got just a little bit of everybody on this. So these are some of my favorite sketches because you just have these little subtleties that it seems so repetitive here, but as soon as we add color, it's gonna come in there. Giant mosquito, yep, yes, there were a few of those. Probably added some of those in there. Okay, here's all the racers, kind of on this peak right here, and then right here we'll go back into the evening, and I'll put nobody on this one right there because I did go down before, but I did see the evening, so I kind of know what the colors looked like the day before. Okay, so now we're basically done. Kidding, we have so much to do. I'm gonna start by adding some little bits of cross hatching too. So this is kind of my initial little, I hope I hear Kip. He's returned. We're just gonna pretend like we're not here. He will never know. No, he will know. He'll be back. He's very tenacious. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of texture in here, kind of because I just want to just give a little bit of that feel of the mountains. Same over here. There's a little bit here, and the road too. Can't forget the road. And I'll do a little bit of colored pencil probably in the end as well. How was everybody's solstice, by the way? I was a little preoccupied with some stuff, but is everybody okay with the fact that it's getting a little bit darker every day, unless you live on the other hemisphere? Okay, I'll do a nature one. Ooh, Lord of the Rings one, Game of Thrones one, and a Kaiju. Kaiju? Oh, and a cartoon kaiju one. Yes, great. Yeah, right. Well, what's so fun too is like, change. In order to see change, you need two things that are similar, and then like the differences. Like our brains are just so good at picking up on those differences. It's a really fun way to kind of bring art to life in that way. Is you're capturing these little tiny differences, and yeah, it just shows change over time. It's like a movie. Like movies are just 3 or 4 frames that are all just a little different, and then you can literally bring stuff to life. That's kind of what I think is so kind of fun on some of these things. Oh, I need to grab some of these. trying to figure out if I can do a slightly smaller profile pack. I've seen a lot of people do this where they basically have a little pencil case. So I love the art toolkit side of things, but I'm giving this a try, just temporarily, seeing what I think. And let's see. You know what? I think we might need to figure out what colors we're doing before we do too much in the colored pencil realm, if that makes sense. So I think, oh, we played Dungeons & Dragons on Solstice. That was amazing. Great choice. I think with this, we're gonna need some, what are we gonna need? We're gonna need something. We're gonna need some color. So this one is where it is mostly dark, and this is sort of where the sun starts to come out. So where's the alpenglow show up here? This I think is the alpenglow one. So this would be alpenglow. This is full sun illuminating everything, which is also kind of alpenglowy. This is darkness again, and the sun is going to go from here. Oh, okay, no sun here. Sun will be here, here, and then going down here. So let's see. I'm trying to think through all of this. I'll start with, well, I can just kind of start from the top and work our way over. Yeah, I think that's maybe what I'll do. Because it got dark, but not crazy dark. So let's try the alpenglow side of things. How's that sound? That was some cool, that's some very cool stuff. Just the colors of the alpenglow. And yeah, how did that look in the morning? Because it was different, technically, the alpenglows. Sorry, looking through some reference photos here. Yeah, there was kind of night. I'll put some night in here. Yeah, let's put some night. Let's put some night right here. There's the moon. We had a little bit of some stuff for a reference. Here's the reference photo of kind of how it looked at night, which was different. So I'll start by adding in. It's always a little terrifying, like the first line on something like this. I'm probably going to start by scooting this over. What I might do is I might start with, pause that there. Start with fussing with technology, my most favorite pastime. I'll start with a little bit of probably the sky here. Oh wait, you know what? I can pick up cameras. I need to attach them to tripods. I do have a plan this Friday for doing. Oh, so that is a bright light. My goodness. I have a plan this Friday for doing a live stream outside, nice and smooth, not going anywhere kind of crazy. But it sounds like I might be able to grab a drone to try it out. So I'm potentially going to try that out so I can actually show you the aerials of these places. We'll find out how possible that is. Okay, so we need just a little bit of, what are we going to need? We're going to need some color. Let's start with our tent. What's going on with this? Every time. That's great. That's what I need. Ah, there it is. Okay. Nothing was focusing. It turns out I was like focusing on my hand or something. We're going to start with the tent, I think, just to kind of get it, just to sort of get some color in there. Let it dry too, especially. And then I'm going to go for the little bit of the turning arm. So we're going to put a little bit of maybe some purple. And I'm going to put just a streak of purple back here. A little bit of blue. It was real moody too, in a gorgeous way, but just real moody. Adding just a little bit of that purple kind of over to the edge. I will put a touch of red in there too because that was the sky, but we'll kind of do that on a case-by-case basis. Touch of red, same tint red that we have there. That's what I love about using just a couple colors is they're all kind of related, which is great until you get somewhere like Iceland. Did you know that they have a dating app just to make sure that you're not cousins? Because the entire island is just, you know, it's a very isolated place. Isn't that hilarious? That's one of my favorite Iceland facts. Don't date your cousin. Okay, so we got one of these, and now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the rest of the kind of whatever you call them. I'm going to add all the rest of the inlets. So we've got kind of this one right there. Looks pretty good. Now let's go move down to the next one, which is when the light is kind of pouring over, and you have this. It's the reflection is kind of what I remember. It's like, so there's the alpenglow of these mountains and there's the reflection. So I'll be adding in some of that right now, which is kind of a weird thing to do when you paint in the reflection before you actually see the thing that it's reflecting, but it works. So we're doing just a touch of maybe some yellows, a little bit of some of this. And we're just going to have kind of these reflections of these mountains that go kind of from the yellows into the purples. And I'm kind of mixing the orange while I'm there too. So I'm just kind of getting just a couple of these little bits of color while we're at it. Ta-da! Pretty simple. And then there's blues and stuff it goes into. I don't have words anymore. Anyway, this is part one. There's many more. So here we go. A little bit of this here. But see, like, isn't that nice? You got this little bit of those kind of bright alpenglows, and then you let it move into that purple. Kind of a fun thing. There we go. And then what would the bottom of these mountains be? The bottom would kind of, like, they kind of almost go into indigo. The sky is what'll pull it together. And I'm being kind of careful here because if you remember that had that kind of nice little bit of light, but we'll add just a little bit there. It's weird, but this is getting me super excited for like winter. Winter, not painting, because winter painting is pretty miserable, but this gets me excited for like winter colors, which is appropriate because like that is the direction we're heading now. We have 6 months until we get there, but we've turned this train around, and that's where we're going. It's a good thing to be excited for that. There we go. Just make grunt noises. In time, we'll stop limiting ourselves with words. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so there's number 2. I'll add the rest of the sky here in just a second. Here we have kind of the full. This is like full day. You got all the people. Turning an arm is kind of this. It's a little bit green. It's a little bit blue. A little bit brown. So I'll add some of this in there. Just a touch of that blue. And then just like a little touch of brown, kind of doing everything on the page itself too, just to kind of let the magic happen, like before. Okay, your kip outside. There's the guy's happy it's summer. Okay, and I kind of want some grayness. So I might even get a little bit of this indigo, just as some kind of grayness, just to mix it up a bit. There we are. Ta-da! Okay, there's number 3. And then number 4 is night. sort of. It would be as the sun kind of sets here, and let me go, because when I went up, then I saw that on the way up, which is different. It's weird because your sunrise and your sunset are about like an hour apart, it's a strange thing, but you still get both. So where the sun hits and like they are two very different things. So so I feel like that's an important thing to show, even though it's kind of confusing. And with this one, we have, let's see, with this one we're going to have a little bit of, the sun kind of hits here. I guess it'd reflect a little bit. Yeah, it'd kind of be that bright, a little bit of that yellow, a little bit of that purple. So we'll kind of put some of this here. Some yellows. There's going to be some big shadows kind of here, but we'll add those in just a moment. Maybe a bit of oranges. I don't know, something like that. Oops, too much of that. So what I might try to do here is just kind of go basically thing by thing, because by the time I'm done with this thing will be ready. Same with the tents. I should probably add the tents in right now while I'm thinking about it. So this one's going to be just a nice red. This one, what are we, midday? Yeah, I can always add in colors. So we'll just add in those base colors. I do this now because if I want to change sort of like the backlighting or something like that, I kind of need that red in right now. Okay, same with this. Now we have some purples that kind of run toward the edge. You have a reflection, but it's low. There we go. Now just add a little bit of the top bit here. This is kind of what makes those mountains stand out. This is the difference between reflection and kind of like a real strong reflection, and kind of one of those ones that's sort of a bit more loose. But do you see how that's kind of coming to life right there? Look at that. Oh, how cool is that? Oops, I already making a mess on this. That's all right. We're kind of early in, so we can do this. Do you find it more difficult to sleep with the extended daylight hours this time of year? Yes, absolutely. And it's different. It's funny because it's not what you might think. Like, what's so hard for the sleeping side is not getting sleep. It is the FOMO, because it is so nice. You don't feel like you can just leave. You want to go to sleep and leave the outside and just close the windows, but it is so gorgeous. It feels inappropriate not to be outside. And when you are inside, you just feel that the entire time. So I think for me, the really hard thing is just how, like, yeah, there's so much daylight. Like, we can't waste it. Winter is great. Winter's really rough in a lot of ways, but oh boy, is it great, because at 6 o'clock, you're like, well, it's been dark for 4 hours. Like, I guess we can go to bed now. And you feel totally fine about it. And if you are up past 6 o'clock in the winter, you feel like a absolute adventurer. You're just like, whoa, look at us out in the dead of night. How cool is this? Winter's harder in a lot of ways, but it is certainly easier in that you can catch a sunset by getting up at 10. You can, what else can you do? You can get a sunset and a sunrise just within the same hike. You can be out from sunrise to sunset really easily. Talk about feeling like an adventurer. And yeah, it's just good. Okay. We have, let's see. Let me know if this is working, by the way. It said my Wi-Fi is rough. Hard enough sign of the sun going out 8:30 here. I guess some sleep out until midnight. Yeah, it's real. Although you become very good at sleeping in all kinds of conditions. Okay, just adding few of these details now, like the chair. Just a couple of these little ones. So here's a chair. Here's a chair. Do I need to add little people here? Yeah, maybe a couple. And these, I'm just trying to think of the colors that I need to put in now that might be blocked out later. Okay, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Now I think we're gonna move on to the skies. Just thinking like what needs to dry and what doesn't. So it's kind of this bit of a funny move here with all of these. Let's kind of work our way back up, I think. So this sky right here is gonna be the same kind of cream colors. Is there anything special you have to do regarding the long days and nights for the little one? A lot of people get blackout curtains, which are just real thick curtains. I think at some level they're just pretty good at like kids are so they're just so versatile. Like you can kind of put them, they're sponges. You can put them in any situation, they'll figure it out. But it is kind of tough when they're like, I want to stay up, and you're like, no. But they're like, but there's still sun out. It's tough. But also we're draconian on bedtime. So we're gonna start with this one right here. This is gonna be the easier one. So that's gonna be a little bit of, what are we doing on this one? This is gonna be a little bit of these oranges and yellows. And with these, I am gonna kind of like let the water do most of the work. Got a little bit of oranges, but it does go into the sky, which is, especially working this small, it's kind of tough because the colors can kind of take full advantage of you, which can be good, can be kind of annoying. But we'll just do a little bit of this here, and I need some blue. Even sunsets, and I'd say especially sunsets, have blue in them, which is strange, right? You would think that when the whole sky is yellow, you wouldn't have blue, but it's the blue that makes the sky feel so yellow. The problem is that the blue mixed with yellow makes green, and I don't want a green sunset. I want a blue sunset. Not that blue either. That's maybe a little too blue. Let's see, so I just need a little bit here. And the water is gonna be my best friend in this to actually make this happen. And you can see I'm just kind of pulling this blue with the water at the same time. Scooting it around and over. We'll see. Some of this is kind of working. What I didn't capture is like the cool clouds. Oh, the live stream ended. Ooh, huh. Did my Wi-Fi go out? That's not a good sign. Looks like we should be good. Wow, what's happening here? How bizarre. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. You see me? Okay. Hello. I think that, what? Sorry. It's telling me that YouTube ended. Okay. You're fine here? I'm fine here? Okay. Still live on my end. Wow, that's so funny. There's just like a giant little badge that says your live stream is ended. It's like a big banner. All right. Well, in that case, I won't go off camera and turn on my other persona where I am mean and hate art and don't like talking. No, I love lives because I enjoy that it kind of, you kind of have to be yourself on it, and um, even when things kind of go wrong on the mountain. I also so appreciate when I was kind of having a tough time during the solstice. Not like the whole solstice, but like it was a lot. It was so cool to show you that. But this absolutely happens, especially, in pretty places. But when you're painting and you see something that is like extra gorgeous, it is just like a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot when stuff kind of goes awry and is super pretty, and it's like, how do you capture this? And I so appreciate everybody's like kind of grace on that. Okay, sorry. Connectivity problems. The funny thing is I actually get better service like when I'm in the wilderness. That's what I'm noticing a lot of. Oh, I see. That has struggled. Okay. Sensory overload. Yeah, truly. Okay. Sorry, technology. Just want to check one more time. Are we good on Wi-Fi? I'm getting like all kinds of notifications that things have not worked, but you all seem to be fine, which is strange and not at all what my phone is telling me. But you know what? I'm gonna trust you over my phone. A+ on Twitch. All right, great. Okay, I'll ignore that then. But sorry, you were saying. Let's see. Hope you give yourself space to enjoy the space, regardless of the tech working or not. Yeah. Well, and it's well, it wasn't the tech. It was me. Like I think what I had is I had this plan of like, oh, I'm gonna sketch like one sketch every 24 hours, and then it didn't quite pan out that way. It was so cool. Like it wasn't. I was thinking, oh, I'll find one interesting thing every 24 hours. Like that's all I really need, right? You need kind of one cool thing every 24 hours, and that's not hard to find. You could put me on a subway station, and I would easily find one cool thing every 24 hours. But then all of a sudden there was like thousands of amazing sketches just all around me, all at the same time, and I couldn't capture it all. And then I tried to capture it all, and then kind of fell apart. So there's this funny mix of sensory overload, like you said, and just the scale of things. And uh, and at first I was actually really disappointed because I felt like I wanted to go down, and then I kind of felt like I was giving up on the project of like, you're up here, you have the gear, it's so much work. But I do think I learned a ton, and it was also so kind of recharging to be back with the family. I think that was what I needed. But it gets me excited because now, like this Friday, going back out. Maybe not for 24 hours, but back out somewhere wild, just still excited. And I think that's like painting too, is you can sometimes you need to push through, and sometimes you just need to like take a tiny bit of a break. And you can't do it all, even if you have 24 hours of daylight. Got a little bit there. And I'm just kind of putting these like broader streaks, and then by putting this water below, it kind of creates this nice bit of a haze kind of effect. Something like that. There we are. Idea 24 sketching from Central Park. Level it up by trying to camp there. Lots of people do. Let's see. Wait, did you mean 24 hours or once every hour over 24 hours? Yeah, so my original plan was to do one painting every hour for 24 hours. And that fell through. But I learned so much. Tech-wise too, I think I figured out some big stuff. You know what it feels like a little bit? Is it feels like toddler level learning. We've got, a 3-year-old and a almost 1-year-old, and just watching them learn and just how brutal it is. Like, I don't know if you're around kids, you know this, but like they just fall constantly. That's just their life, is just absolutely eating it on a daily basis, just smacking into everything. And yeah, and it's like, it's really intense, but they do it and they do a great job. And then that's how you, like, they are learning how to walk in weeks. Whereas if we learned how to rewalk and we were afraid of falling, it'd take us decades. And so it's definitely this is like the technological equivalent of it. Like every time I go up there and try to figure something out, I feel like, oh my gosh, I fell right on my face. But then, you like look back on it, you're like, oh, I learned a week worth of stuff in 5 hours, and how useful that is. It's really good. Okay, so here we have this sky. So this alpenglow right here. And this is going to be kind of a funny one because the sky is actually going to be darker than the alpenglow on the mountain. So we want to avoid that one right now. We have to do the mountains first, which we could. Actually, maybe we do that. Let me add some mountain stuff here, and then we'll kind of keep on moving piece by piece. You're still up there a really long time. Glad you're able to spend the evening with your family and Father's Day. Yeah, no, it was, yeah, thanks, Dana. It was a good one. It was a good one. 11 and a half hours. Longest I've ever done anything like that. Although some of these streamers like do that, right? Like some of these streamers are up for a really, really long time. Isn't that right? Like I've heard people doing like 7-day streams or something like that. Something kind of crazy. My new thought is, what if I took everybody camping, do like a whole 24 hours, but then I figure out my technology where I can just go sleep, not in a chair, in a tent or a cabin. I'd be fine with the cabin. Where I go sleep, not in a chair, and then I could leave you all with basically a nature view for like 7 hours of sleep. Should I be so lucky? So it would be kind of just like a trail cam. Well, I got sleep and then could be a functional human being, having my cake while eating it too, basically. Okay, right here. Looking at life through your kids' eyes is a huge learning experience, and it's a great view from that angle. Yeah, I mean, adults, we are so scared of making mistakes, and watching what kids do is just so cool. It's so cool. They're like, yeah, I don't want the skills. I don't want all the skills of the world. I just want to have a kid's superpower of being able to be totally fine with failing, because if you can do that, you could learn anything. Like that is the real skill in life, is being able to just try and try and try and try and try again. Okay, we're just adding up these little bits into here. And this is going to give us some pretty cool looking stuff. That is going to be full sun, so that's going to be kind of peeking over the edge, and we'll kind of blow out everything a little bit. Now a little bit of some water here at the edge while this is still drying will give us some interesting effects and kind of soften that edge when I do fill in those mountains. It won't look like there's quite as much of an edge, quite as much of a barrier. Okay, so there's that sky. We'll fill in that one in just a second. And then I believe, let's see, gotta add a little bit more over here. We'll just put some of that yellow over top. Good evening. Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, Izzy. Welcome to a controlled, non-wilderness environment where sketching is getting done. This is gonna be a fun one. Isn't it kind of fun how already they're differentiating? Like, I love how the outline just looks so kind of like you just made a copy or something like that. It just, to me, those outlines, when I see the 4 in a row, it's sort of like, where are you going with this? And then as the colors and differences sort of show up, all of a sudden it becomes this really cool thing. One of my favorite ways to watch a painting kind of come to life. Okay, there we are. Maybe a touch of brown here too. Wow, that yellow, which is such a good base thing. It's like starting a stew with onions and butter or something like that. You know, you caramelize your onions, and there's the base. This is the good base. This kind of initial start. Okay. I hear Eve out there. She's trying to build a porch, and Kip is trying to help, which is always an exciting experience. I've heard somebody propose the idea of like MasterChef, but every single competitor has a toddler who just wants to help, and we see who the real MasterChef is. I just need, there we go. Okay, so up here we had the moon, which is pretty cool. We had the moon, we had a couple little colors, and then up here it was actually relatively dark, but then you still had a touch of that sun that was just creeping up. It's a strange thing, so you have a little bit of everything. So let's start with the moon by putting a little bit of, gosh, how do we even do the moon? I'm just gonna leave it a little bit hazy, and then we'll do probably just a tiny bit of pencil or pen or something like that to kind of get that crescent of the moon. Love the panel with the racers in it. Yeah, which is your favorite panel so far? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Because they'll change too, which will be kind of fun. Okay. Sorry, making sure I don't have salad or something in my teeth. So this one right here, we're gonna have just a touch of, let's start with the yellow. Why don't we? We're gonna have just a touch of the yellow right there, and it's just gonna kind of scoot across the sky, but be blown out pretty good. Number 4, yeah. That'll be a nice dark, I think the contrast will make that one. Right now, to me, it feels like the most overdone, but I think the contrast is gonna bring that in. Mostly lurking today, but so far I'm excited about panel 2. Ooh, panel 2, yeah, with the racers. Okay, I see it. And then we're gonna do just a little bit of, we're gonna go yellow to maybe a touch of orange here. It's just barely yellow. I think it's gonna be kind of blue and then dark blue, actually. There we go. This guy needs to be very, very, very subtle. Try and stick within my lines, sometimes. There we go, very subtle right there. Same over here, we just have a touch of just a touch of this red. Just like that. And then we'll kind of meet them with some purple. Number 4. Okay, I'm hearing some excitement about 4. This is good. I too am excited about 4. Now what I should have done is put a little bit of some kind of white on the mountains, but I think we're still in good shape here, and I'll show you how. A little bit there, a little bit here. Now I should say with these, we are always terrible to actually say, well, it's like jinxing a thing. You almost don't want to say it beforehand. But the plan is if anybody is interested in a print, we are going to start doing limited runs of prints of things. So this is going to be one of them, likely. And that'll come out when the video comes out about this later, just because it's just like a fun one to share. And that's sort of where the membership gets a bit of an edge. So we have members now, just because a lot of people are asking how to support Trailbound Sketches. And it sounded like this was one of the best ways to do it. Is you create a membership. It's kind of, I don't know, like Costco or something like that, where you have a membership and it comes with some fun stuff. Like the first 100 people get one of these really fun mugs, little Trailbound Sketches ones. So the first 100 get a mug, and then as things go, like for instance prints and stuff like that, members will get kind of first access to those. So we're still figuring out kind of the ways that works, but with sets like this, we'll probably do a limited run in case anybody's interested. Or if you want to support us, we have a membership now, which is fun. And the dividends you get, aside from some fun bonuses, are all of this, which then gets shared with everybody. So it's kind of like it's like a membership, but then we're all the beneficiaries of that, and it will help us do more like this. But that's what that is, and I need to just kind of remind myself to remind other people, because this is an amazing community that gets like legitimately mad at me when I forget to explain how they could help support. Okay, right there. Adding a little bit there. That's almost too much light, but I'll see what I can do here. There we go. Do you see? I just want the haze. Like, it was so cool. It's like, it was just kind of this haze that just sort of just peeked up over the horizon. It's just kind of fun. Oh yeah, thanks, Rosita. Yeah, it's a cool way. Yeah, so like right now, yeah, first 100 get one of the mugs, a brush, and a sticker, just as a little thank you. But then in the future, the hope is that the membership can kind of help us do the projects that maybe a brand or something wouldn't support, where it's like, we want to go chase down this thing because like we want to see it, and then we can just do that. But also, that's what people are asking for, which is just the sweetest thing. Okay. A little bit of that blue right there. And we'll just pull some of this down and call that good. Great. Oh, well, let's see, we'll put a little bit of this there. A little bit of water. There we go. Okay, I don't know if the camera fully picks it up. This might be my current favorite, but like it will develop. We'll see. Okay, where are we going from here? So we've got our skies. Here, that's going to be kind of nice and green. This one, I think we need to kind of do this one now. This one's going to kind of blow up a little bit. This one's going to be kind of exciting. So here we have our sky. It's going to look pretty crazy here. So if you're ready, I'm going to start with the sun. And if you got to see it last time during the live, this is like when things kind of both went amazing and also fully off the rails for me. Is you had this like unbelievable sunrise right here. And it was just like, it just lit up everything. So that's what we're going to do right here. So we're going to light up everything. Got some of this. A little bit of water. And the way this is going to come to life is layer after layer after layer after layer. But these mountains, because the sun is so vibrant, are going to be super, super, super dark. But not right next to the sun. There, they are going to be super light. I don't know how this works. It makes no sense to me, but it is just how it goes. So we got our bright, bright, bright sun. We have a touch of red as well, kind of on the outsides here. So we'll kind of work our way in there. And then there were some clouds too that it kind of went up into, which is interesting. So a little bit this way, like this. And then it did go into some purples. And that's why we did our mountains first, so that the alpenglow that we add will have a spot. Hey BDC, been lurking, finally got a chance to type in the chat. Oh, hello, welcome. I feel like I've been lurking, sort of. Like I feel like I've been trying these different things, but in the process of all of them, I've had such limited abilities. Like I'm either trying to figure out technology, or I'm trying to figure out location, or I'm trying to figure out painting, or I'm trying to figure out how to talk while going all of this. And I feel like the talking is the first thing that kind of like the talking is the first thing that disappears. So I feel like it's been a hot minute since I have actually been able to see it, like, be here with everybody. So it feels nice. It feels really good to be back. Okay. A little bit of this. We got our clouds. Here's this big sun, which I think we're basically good on it. It doesn't take much to kind of start the sun. There we go. Ta-da! Some cool blooms over there. I'm gonna leave them alone as much as I can. And let's see, we do have clouds. There is gonna be some kind of blue sky over here, so I'm gonna figure out how that looks really quick. I think what that's gonna be is, because all of this is dark. That's the coolest thing about alpenglows. You have this light on the mountains, but it's a contrast that makes it like so interesting. Also, hello, KCO. Welcome, welcome. Trying to figure out how to paint a day worth of stuff right now. Realistically, I might be painting this for a very, very, very long time. Not like this painting, but like this solstice was so interesting that I could very much see myself just painting different versions of this all over the place. Okay, so we have all of this, and then it kind of just went to gray, I guess. So we'll put a little bit of purple kind of throughout. We'll just put a little bit of that over here. I think it makes a lot of sense to do a bunch of solstice paintings. Yeah, I could picture, talking about series and stuff, I could picture doing like an entire solstice series where it's like there's the summer and the winter. Basically everything that's summer would happen in one series, and then everything that's winter would happen in another. And I think it's kind of poetic that the entire inspiration might have happened over the course of a single day. I realistically think I have enough to paint an entire summer collection over what happened in this 11 hours, not even 24 hours, 11 hours. and yeah, I'm gonna keep on streaming and filming and painting, but yeah, what a day. Okay, so we're just adding a little bit of this. This is kind of these darker, kind of cloudier layers that were kind of coming in. There was some blue in there too, so we'll add just a touch of that. Not too much though, just enough blue. And then maybe even a little bit of that red. Let it merge in just a touch more. Alpenglow is the coolest thing, or at least one of them. There we are. Okay, great. And then we'll kind of move this forward. There's something just so cool when the sky is darker than the mountains in front. Okay, a little bit there. I hear Kip wearing down Eve's resolve by trying to help with the construction project right now. Toddlers are just a force of nature, but not like a hurricane, although they can kind of be tempestuous. They're like a force of nature in that they are just relentless, like snacks and stuff like that. You think you have resolve to be like, don't eat that snack, but they are relentless, and they just keep on going until eventually you give up. And they know, and you do it once, and they're like, oh, this works, and then never again, and you're stuck forever. Okay, great. Well, there we go. There's our skies so far. What do you think about what's the current favorite of all the skies? Still on number 4 here. All right, so we have all of those. What is next? What are we sketching next? I think it might be, we do kind of the race peak. Let's see, is this dry? This is, yeah, that's dry. Okay, we can do that. Let's do some of these mountains here. Let me go find kind of where I'm looking at. I'm working off some reference photos, which are 100% fair game. Just wanted to let you know, in case anybody ever worries about that. Let's add some snow in right here. This right here was all snow. So I'm just gonna add a little shadow kind of, just to kind of get it there. Same over here. This will be a little darker of a shadow. But the snow is white, but it's a reflective thing. It's gonna reflect what is around it. So in this case, it's gonna be kind of a nice dark sky. So I'm gonna reflect some of that. So this is what I'm adding in right now. Sky number 2. Yeah, that one is doing it for me for sure. Same over here. This one's gonna be a bit brighter. Okay, and then down here we'll do some of the same, although this I might do yellow. I think this is gonna be reflecting kind of up there, in these clouds. So let's do a touch of that. There we go. A little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Cool. It's kind of nice too, because you can kind of just work your way down. Pick an element, doom, 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 doom. Kind of a fun way to look at it. And you can overdo it too. So like with this, it's totally fine if you just kind of miss your boundaries. You can, the lighter colors can get kind of eaten up by the darker ones, which is good. All right, what is next? There's this, there's these mountains behind it, which are gonna be kind of lighter. There's this mountain. It's layers. It's layers on layers on layers, and when you have 4 of them, it just kind of multiplies it. Hello, Amy. Welcome. Love your art. Oh, that is very kind of you to say. I also love being able to make it, but we're kind of on the redo today because last time it was just a little too overwhelming. It was just so gorgeous. It was a little bit too overwhelming. So so this time we're gonna try it again. Let's see. Love them all, especially how they show us the narrow arc from sunrise to sunset from up in Alaska, southeast and southwest, but not due east or due west. It is interesting, and it's low. It is low, even at the height of the summer. It's here or something like that. Like this would be like here, which apparently makes things hotter, which is an interesting thing. I always thought the Alaskans just couldn't handle heat, but I guess because of where it is, that it feels hotter because more of your body is in direct sunlight. If you have sun directly above you, like a hat works. If the sun is in front of you, hats are doing nothing. So that's kind of a fun way to do it. Oh, a member just came in. Oh my gosh. Who was it? Who did this? Oh, Tina. Oh, Tina, thank you. That is so kind of you. Welcome. Welcome to the Trailbound crew. Okay, we have a little bit of this. And then the first 100 do get a mug. We are struggling a little bit with the shipping on out of the US side of things because they are not making it easy, but we're trying to figure out alternatives as well. So if you're somewhere not in the US and want like a print or something else like that, we're working with you to make that happen. Do you sell your art or is it more of a hobby? I sold quite a bit of art in the past, and I do less of it now because it got a little overwhelming, and I was doing more selling than I was doing arting. So I think my hope is to figure out a way where I can still share, because I love sharing artwork. It's so cool to be able to, give away something to, well, the giveaway, obviously stuff costs money, but it's so cool to be able to share a little piece of this with somebody else and have it be in their home. So right now our plan is to do kind of limited runs of the stuff that I make live, especially because when it's live, it's real. You saw it happen. It's like you're part of it. And way harder to fake with AI. A lot of times AI is just wholesale stealing art, and when you see every brush stroke, there's a lot of ways you can kind of prove that is real. But so right now what we're doing is probably doing limited sets. Like for instance this, I'll probably do a limited set, which will be available when we put a video out probably next week about it. So we're seeing, but I like sharing it too. I like art, I like my art, but seeing other people make it too. And on Discord, we have this template if anybody wants to paint along with as well. It's under the live stream section. Okay, so we have this. Now let's see. We have this and these. Let's put some of these little bits in there. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of this over here. Here is the kind of top where everybody is at during the race. You're a million times better than AI slop. Thank you. For now. For now. You could do some Trailbound slop though. Yeah, it is interesting, but it's kind of what like a lot of I've seen some stuff where artists are getting like people are taking the art, making it with AI, basically saying copy this, but make it just enough different. So it's like a barn, but it's a barn just from a slightly different angle, same style, same everything, and almost indistinguishable. And then they copy their website so people think that they're buying from the artist, but they're actually buying from this website, and it's so skeezy. Oh, like makes my skin crawl. And so I think we're trying to figure out a way kind of around that with both the membership for supporting us, but then also doing like art, or potentially I might even sell an original, but like doing the limited edition prints where you know where it's coming from and you can see it and find it that way. But yeah, AI is stressing me out, you might say. Not like all the ways, it'd be kind of like saying the internet is stressing me out. The internet is not stressing me out, but like some of the, the predatory social media side of things, or like the addictive natures, that's stressing me out. And I feel like AI is kind of the same way, where it's like, yeah, there's the AI and the way people are using it, where it's like, why are you doing that? Like, what's up with that? I don't understand why you'd want to steal art from somebody. Very strange. Well, I think they just make money. Like I think a lot of times these artists they're holding off on selling this stuff for one reason or another. I know that life, and they see, like, I don't know, somebody in Lithuania or something sees this opportunity and just goes for it and basically sells a bunch of people fakes, which is a bummer. I also love showing the process though. I think for me that's what is the coolest thing, is like the process of this is so integral. And like when you have a piece of art on your wall, it's cool, but like the artist got to see how that came to life. It was a blank sheet of paper, and through some wild alchemy, it became something. And I love that. And from the live streaming standpoint, that's what I'm so excited about, is just showing you like the process. It's painting, not paint. It's like that's the process is what's so cool. And then whether I'm doing it or whether you see me do it and you get inspired and you do it, that's what gets me so excited about this. Is like it's just like a gateway between you and these places. It's so cool. Do I have a favorite thing to sketch? Oof. I mean, mountains are really fun. I really like mountains, but and bears are cool. Gosh, what's not great to sketch? Okay, I just need a little bit of maybe some purple here. People are not great to sketch. People scare the bejesus out of me for painting, but also I love the idea of painting people. So I'm learning, and recently I just did a project where I sketched hundreds of people, and I keep on doing them because I think it's a challenge, and it's like, how do I actually capture this? Okay, there's that. That's looking great. And I just need, where is it? It would be here. I'm kind of just adding in some of the layers that I know I'm gonna need a darker side on the other one, so I'm getting those lighter layers in right now. There we go. So we got all kind of our foreground going on right there. Got some of our background going on right there. It's looking pretty swell. Bounding foxes. Next, let's sketch them over and over. I do love the bounding fox. Yeah, we've kind of taken that on as the Trailbound Sketches sort of logo emblem there. It's literally bound. And the new logo, we're kind of working on that, actually has the fox with its tail as the brush. The process is the best part because we can learn ourselves in real time. Yeah, well, and that's what's cool too. Like I love making sketches, and sometimes I love having somebody else's artwork too, because it's like that is super cool. But it is a it's like dancing, right? Like I like watching a good dancer, but to be able to dance yourself, like that's when you actually feel it, and that's sketching. Like I would love to show you all my dances. I'd love to sell you videos of my dances, you know, whatever the analogy is there. But it is you dancing that makes the world turn. And what is so cool. Oh my gosh, more things coming. What is all this? Oh, another membership. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Elbor. That is so kind. Okay. I need to. Oh, there's Eve. Okay. She has company. We're in good shape. Okay, so we have all of this. I need to figure out. Let's see. So these mountains right here are going to be kind of darker. This hill, however, is going to be slightly lighter. So let's put in this hill and then kind of fade it down a little bit. And we're just going to kind of move through detail after detail after detail. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have a cat named Charlemagne the Destroyer. He's my wife's cat. She got him, and then 2 weeks later she got me. He is my coworker, and right now he's inside because he had to go to the vet yesterday for a checkup, and he does not trust or like us anymore. We have betrayed him for the last time, and he is not a fan. For the record, he had a clean bill of health and got complimented on what nice clean teeth he has for a 9-year-old cat. So I think it was worth it. They say he's a handsome boy. Which is what you're supposed to say, but still, that's wonderful. Okay, just adding a little bit more over here. These little pieces, these little kind of mountain ranges. Okay, just adding a touch more. I'm seeing more notifications pop up too. So just a little bit more right here. There's this. All these people are kind of like clambering over the edges, which is really cool, I thought. And then let's add a little bit of some darkness, I think. But not too much. I still want the people to stand out. I just haven't quite decided how I want them to stand out. Do I want them to be contrasted or be the contrast? So we'll just add a little bit of this, and then I'm going to put water to kind of lighten that up a little bit so you can still see them. Just like that. Trying to have the best of all worlds, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Okay. Yeah, Charlemagne Destroyer. Eve named him. He's a good egg. My cat turned into a wild cat at the vet's office. Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of transform, don't they? They're like, not here, never again. Okay, now what colors are these mountains? I think it's almost time to do this one. This one is going to be kind of cool because this in particular, you've got this kind of red. Oh, there's my brother. You got this kind of red. Your art style looks like a mix of journaling while you travel on your storybook. It's very charming. That's 100% what I'm kind of trying to go for. I love the sketched look. Like that, for me, that is it. That is everything. Is like the kind of sketchy sort of like that's the peak of it for me, where you can kind of tell like where they were thinking. It's like what my grandma did. She is the one who inspired me to paint. She left behind 6,000 sketches from all over the world, and those sketches, and she do fancy watercolors, but those sketches for me are like, that's it. You know, it's like oh. And it's one of the things too. It's like you don't have access to it. You know, like if you want to see big fancy works, you go to a gallery and you can see big, huge, beautiful paintings. And if you want to see masters, you can go to a museum. And if you want to see reference photos, you just go to the place or something like that. But how often do you get to flip through somebody's sketchbook? Like that to me is just, I love it. It's like getting a window into somebody's brain. It's so cool. Okay, so we have kind of this, and then it mixes down into purple. So we've got a little bit going down here. The tent is going to be in full, kind of the tent is sort of illuminated, so we'll put that in for sure. And then it does actually kind of move into some almost greens, but here's where the alpenglow kind of side comes in, which will be interesting to sketch. So maybe I'll move into some blues. There we go. Boy, that sunrise though is just something else. That is got to be the, like, one of the top sunrises. My dad would rate sunrises when he was in Australia, because you get some real good sunrise. You there by the beach during the sabbatical, you get some real good sunrises, and so every time, walk down to the beach, rate the sunrise, and they had some pretty strict standards because the sunrises were legit and sunsets. But this one just kind of, maybe it was just because I was sleep deprived or on top of the mountain. I don't know what it was, but this one hit me out of the blue. It was just like turned around and bam, so cool. Okay, a little bit more here to really make that tent kind of sing. And you see, by adding kind of like that little bit of sort of just a touch of everything, it brings that sunrise to life. But now here's the alpenglow part. This is where it's going to get really interesting. So the alpenglow, these mountains are just kind of starting to show the traces of light. So they're not going to have all of it. So now we kind of need to work our way down. They do have some little bits of snow in them, so some of this I'm going to kind of try to ignore a little bit. So for instance, like this one, we'll put a little bit of snow, and the way I'm going to do that is by just making little kind of slivers of not this color, and that's going to turn out as snow, if that makes any sense. The space in between is now snow, just like that. Look at that. So now, snow-covered mountain, and what I need to do is wait just a second, let that kind of let it kind of dry a bit, and then I'll be doing some purples that will kind of mix and merge into it. Let's add a little bit of this kind of valley down here too while we're at it. This is going to be some greens as a base coat, and then I'm going to add other colors, because this valley, it was green, but you could barely tell it was green. There we go, a little bit of that. Well, that's quite green now. That's okay. I think we're still on it. A little bit of blue. And this is where these valleys are kind of deep, dark, and shadow, but the outsides are not. The outsides are still kind of fully like this little bit here is still fully in the sun. And in just a moment, well, I don't want to jump the gun here, but we have some purple, so maybe we try it. Let's see what happens. Let's give it a try. Why not? So here, I'll just zoom in here so you can actually kind of see what I'm doing. Here, we can just add a little bit of this purple, and it's going to connect to some of those. But then as we go further down, then all of a sudden it is now kind of deeper into that alpenglow area. So here's our purple. Now here comes some blue. And you see, this is the Alaska. This is the Alaska Mountains Alpenglow formula, really. And then just a little bit of that. Now, I do kind of want to preserve some of the integrity of this valley, so maybe I shouldn't put too much blue here. It'll kind of fuzz out a little bit because it's still wet on wet, but that's okay. I think that's fine. The shadows kind of mix and merge and move all over the place anyway. Oh, I like that very much. What do you think? Ta-da! Do I have a favorite artist? I mean, like, corny, but probably my grandma. Yeah, I don't know. I think her artwork style's like got to be my favorite for sure. Um, there's a lot of very cool artists here in Alaska. There's one amazing watercolorist named Jill Ritchie, whose work I think is just some of the coolest. She's up in Fairbanks. There is, gosh, who else is there? There's Claire Giordano, really amazing watercolorist in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle. She's so cool. And there's so many good painters out there. Liz from I Paint Burbs is got to be one of my favorite artists. One, excellent work, but also just like a phenomenal human being. There we go. Okay, that's working. I like where this is going. Yeah, especially so like this is filming in flat for some reason. I need to figure out how to like fix my contrast and saturation. But this is a lot more like vibrant than it looks on there. Which is good because there's a lot more. Oh, almost dipped in the paint tea water. I'm just gonna drink this up until it's gone. There we go. And now we'll come back on this side. So we got a little bit more on these. I'm just going to add these kind of, we got bits of brown, they'll merge into green. And it's all kind of gradients. What's fun is these gradients change over the course of these things, right? So you have the first gradient of, the sunrise, where it's all kind of oranges and blues and things, and then here you go from browns to greens. Here we're gonna go get into some more oranges. It's kind of wild. I live in Alaska. Yeah, I'm here in Anchorage. I live in, what do they say? They say Anchorage is 20 minutes from Alaska. So I think they're just mostly upset because we have amenities and grocery stores, and I think they're a little jealous. But it is true. Like in 20 minutes, like I'm in a big city, but in 20 minutes you can get into some of the most extreme wilderness on Earth, and then in an hour you can like really get in there. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, and living in Alaska is cool. I mean, it's kind of a way. I think you forget because yeah, you travel outside and then you kind of remember. But like you forget that it's not normal to have like a moose walk down your street, but it is here, or it's not normal to to go over to somebody's house and have them apologize for serving you salmon because like everybody fishes a lot here, and like one, never apologize for serving salmon, it's delicious. But like yeah, it is such an interesting place. It's hard. It's really hard, especially in the winters, and we want to go anywhere or do anything. But it is so cool. It is such an interesting spot to live. Okay, now here I'm going to add just a little bit of some blues. So we're going to kind of switch this out. We're going to go over on this one now. I'm going to add some little touches of blue kind of up in here until I merge down into something a bit lighter, maybe a purple or something like that. But Anchorage is also a big city, so it's kind of just, city living until you remember that you're in Alaska, either by going 20 minutes away or when a bear, shows up in your neighborhood. Which has happened surprisingly a lot these days. A little bit of this blue right down there. But my hope is to be able to show everybody a lot more of that. We're slowly getting the live streaming side of things going, and the plan is to kind of take us on some field trips every Friday. So the big plan this Friday is to get out somewhere, and I want to figure out how I can connect a drone to the live stream so I can actually show you from the air. They say you can't really see Alaska until you see it from the air or the sea, and I believe I've been in a lot of planes and helicopters up here, and it's so true. It's like you just get a scope. The scale of this place is wild. Do you even move to Alaska together, or did you already live there when you met her? So I moved up when I was like 12. Eve was born not here. She moved up when she was like 3, which doesn't count as being alive. Like that's what's wild for people is they're like, oh, are you Alaskan? They're like, no, I was born here when I was 1. Like, I think it counts, if you've been here since you were 1. You'll like ask a 7-year-old. They're like, no, I was born here when I was 2. So moved up here when I was 2, so it didn't count. And it's like, I think it does. I think it does. I think you can probably consider yourself an Alaskan. But so she moved up, but she's probably more of an Alaskan than I am because she grew up in like a dry cabin in the woods, no running water, no electricity, no no separation from the bears. A lot of stories about bears and her growing up, but she went to college in Canada, and then she moved back, and I was filming all over the world, and then I came back, and that's when we met, and then I was still filming all over the world, so then I left, and we kept in touch on WhatsApp. We sent WhatsApp messages to each other back and forth for like 6 months, and then we met in France and got engaged. So, typical stuff. But I never thought it would work, which is I think why it worked. Is I was like I had no guard at all. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fully myself, and I think she was kind of the same way. And because of that, we got to know each other super well, and it was like, oh wow, okay, we can do this. And then I moved back, and immediately the pandemic hit. Why did I move to Alaska? My mom got a job up here as an RN, so she was up here doing nurse stuff, and we were in New York, and I actually stayed in New York with my dad for a year, and then before moving up. And it's interesting. It's like there's one of these places. I think there's a lot of places for me like this, but it's one of these places where it's like, oh yeah, this is home. Like something about being outdoors in some of these areas is like this feels like home. And there's a saying that Alaska doesn't make you want to move back, it just makes you unfit to live anywhere else. And it's kind of true. Like I traveled all over the world. My job was a running filmmaker. I'd chase runners around in wild places, and I got to see some really cool spots. But the more I traveled, the more it was like, oh, there's nowhere like Alaska. Nothing. There's like, yeah. Oh, the Yukon. Okay, the Yukon is also very cool. Sort of strict definitions of Yukoner. Yeah, we've got a lot of Yukon friends. That's a cool spot. I could live in the Yukon probably. But I love it here. It's so neat. Okay, we have, let's see, gotta figure out what the alpenglow. So the alpenglow hit here too. So this is the other little spot where there's like just a touch of it. I don't know if you can see too much. Like this is, I love how this is turning out. It's kind of hard to see it for the rest because everything else is so kind of like unfinished yet. But yeah, this is turning out just fine. Okay, there we go, something like that. This actually I like too. I think that's working out great. All right, I need to figure out, let's see, we got this. How much of this do I need to kind of keep on moving forward with? Let's say, oh, I didn't put in these are actually blue. Let's put that in right now. Let's put some of this, a little bit of this. All right, there we go. And this reflection is actually super cool. I will take a nice photo of this. I'll definitely make a nice post so you can kind of see the colors. This reflection, I haven't done something like this. It's kind of just like off a whim. It turned out so good. We'll definitely be doing more of that. Okay, so now let's do the full alpenglow. Why not? Let's put the full thing in here. So we got some more of these, which are just kind of these little stripes to kind of show where the snow is. And that's why I put that kind of base coat down, because the snow is in this case kind of the yellow of the sunset. It's a blank white sheet of paper. It is going to reflect exactly what the light is. So we'll just add a little bit of this here, and then we will merge that down into some purples. And if there's more snow, then I would have gone from yellow to like a blue or something like that, but there's not. There's just kind of, it's kind of right on the top of the mountains. It kind of stops by the time you hit the shadows. So we'll just add a little bit of this here. There we are, just like that. And then in just a moment, I'll be adding some darker colors to kind of round that out. But that's working. And then this little tip, this little spire was also caught in the light. It was so cool. This little ptarmigan that was just hanging out at the top. Just being a little ptarmigan, just like, here I am, here's my roost. Come get me, I dare you. They make crazy sounds too. Ptarmigans make sounds kind of like, I don't know, some alien predator or something. So it's a little freaky. When you're alone at night and there's just like some strange sound just sort of circling you from a very tenacious bird. But all is well that ends well, and it ended well. And by that I mean like I wasn't eaten by a ptarmigan or, you know, attacked by its buddies. Okay, we got a little bit right there. And see, that's snow too. I'll put some there. Okay, here I'm gonna put some clouds up here because there were definitely some clouds, and I kind of want that look. So I'm just gonna kind of scrape through a couple of these. A little bit here, and clouds are great because they kind of give depth. They can mess up everything, but they can also give it depth, which can be fun or terrifying. Exhibit A. Okay, a little bit here. And then the further away you get, the smaller and the lighter they're going to be. So that's what I'm doing here. Right there. Any opinions on what you would be interested in seeing on Friday? I could go sketch a bridge, like a cool bridge. I could go sketch an interesting valley. I could also kind of play it by ear. It might be raining, so maybe what I should do is just go see where's the nicest weather. Oh, a rating party. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're sketching this right now. Kind of these 4 little scenes. I painted the solstice, and well, I tried. An attempt was made. I'm here in Alaska. We have quite a bit of sunlight on the summer solstice. So I tried to stay up for 24 hours and make a painting every hour for 24 hours on top of the mountain. I made it 11 and a half hours before I got a bit overwhelmed and ended up heading down to spend Father's Day with my family. But I'm painting them in now. So that's the plan. Where are you rating from? What was going on today? Were you also painting mountain solstices? Okay, just gotta get these clouds in, sorry, and then I can look at stuff. If I was clever, I'd do some dry brushing. Just where you kind of grab a little bit of this, and then you kind of make some texture. Let's see if it actually works. Do some scraping here, just so I can kind of get this feel and sense for it. Okay, so if I do just a little bit of, yeah, just a bit of that. Okay. There we go. We painted a sunflower, and then we did some practice on a tarot card. Ooh, are you doing a tarot deck? Have you done a tarot deck? That'd be kind of fun doing an Alaska tarot deck. I wonder what things would be. I mean, there's so much actually like mythology around bears and everything too. I'm sure there's something similar, kind of like for a lot of cultures, bears are the dream messenger. So if you see a bear in your dream, it's delivering you a message, which I haven't found to be untrue. Here we are. Okay, that's actually that's doing it for me. This is coming to life. This in particular, oh, right? You just got to get the initial one is kind of where it needs to come to life, and it's working. So let's see, let's add a little bit of a. I'm trying to do a better job of capturing the process, you know. There we go. Okay. This is the portion. Oh, you've just figured out the bandsaw. This is the portion of the painting where it's really like stuff starts to look good. Oh no, what did I do there? And then you start to make mistakes. Stuff starts to look good, and it's really easy to kind of slow the pace down. Like you've been going a really fast, good pace, and then all of a sudden you like start to see the scale of everything, and it can be so easy to kind of slow right down. And I am going to try really hard not to let that happen because it is just so hard to, yeah, just to like not kind of fall into that trap. Kind of keeping things moving while I can. Okay. Just out of curiosity though, from the sunflower side, is oils, pastel? I feel like sunflowers are just such an infinitely paintable thing. Okay, that's looking great. Now what do we need here? That's still going good. So now I just need to figure out what these are, because these are kind of some darker colors. They look pretty good though. Okay, I just need to sort it out. Oh, can't hear anything. Oh. Thank you. Oh wait, no. We should be able to hear something. Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Wait, no, never mind. Okay. It's not me. Sorry, my computer's freaking out since I took out my headphones. Can't hear anything. Oh, okay. Woo. Panic. Let's see. Just gotta figure out here. I was asking about the sunflower seeds. We don't have a lot of sunflowers here in Alaska. We grow, maybe we do. We grow a lot of stuff. We can grow some huge stuff here because we have these long days, and then audio's fine. Okay, thanks, Jen. Just went into panic mode there for a second. We have these long days, and it means that you can grow some really crazy stuff, especially because we have permafrost. So the plants they go low, and then all of a sudden there is ice basically, and the plants are just like, oh my god, like the winter is coming from below, and they freak out, and so they put a ton of sugar and grow their fruits really big because they're like, quick, make the seeds, and so you can grow some really amazing stuff. Maybe we actually do grow big sunflowers. I should look into that. We certainly have a lot of sun. Okay, just on your end. Okay. I am an expert at being a novice at tech. Kind of a big deal in failing at technology. You can hear me? Okay, thanks, Sarah. Okay, I just got a little bit more of that blue. So these mountains are just kind of this lovely, little bit of a side blue here. Right there. And I'm going to extend it in just because this other mountain's going to be darker, so these won't really show up, and it lets me get some interesting kind of water effects, some blooms and other stuff like that. There we go, and then we'll add this one where we're at it. I'm tempted just to finish this one up. That's looking great. I really like that. A little scary, I will admit, because with these things, it's always like, ooh, you know, one turned out good, but then if you mess up, you get 3 good ones and 1 bad one, and it's sort of like, oh, what, you know, it's all ruined. But I think that we're gonna do just fine. How about you? I think we're rocking this. This right here too is kind of this lovely deep dark. This is kind of more of a purple maybe. The whole thing is sort of these tones, so it's okay that we're kind of mixing and matching. There we go. Now, turning an arm is kind of close to mine too. There's an awful situation the day before I went out. Didn't know it was actually happening well, but a kid, well, not kid. I knew him as a kid. Was surfing the boar tide, which comes through here, a big tide, kind of big wave, basically whoosh down. A lot of people surf it, and he got pulled out by the current, and they couldn't rescue him in time, and he died. Josh, which is awful. He's part of the running community and very, very nice guy, but for like 3 hours he was just calling. Was actually talking to, I think, his family on the phone, but they just could not get to him fast enough because there's like, and this place is huge, and he died of, like, I think, like hypothermia basically, which is just a 25-year-old. Awful. It's like, it is so sad. And also people do this all the time and are mostly fine, and so you kind of forget that it's like just how dangerous these things are and just how important rescue and all these things are in Alaska, and then something like this happens, you know, you're like, oh right. So definitely thinking of them and the family, but also the tide, and which is so important for bringing salmon to life, but also is just like the scale of Alaska is giant and deadly and a little scary sometimes. A lot scary sometimes. Okay, so we have this. I know, it's so sad. It was, I didn't really see much of it because I was up on a mountain, and then afterwards it was like, oh right. And they just like, yeah, it took them days to even find the body. I need to figure out what I'm sketching with this right here. Or moreover, let's see, what are we sketching back here? I think these right here would be kind of light. I want some of those on. Definitely the kind of stuff that makes you, reminds you to hug your family a little tighter and not take anything too much for granted. Okay, a little bit here, kind of off the edge. And then I'll be sort of using these gradients to add little bits of layer of these kind of lighter layers, lower by lower. All right. Ta-da! Okay. Now just adding a touch more over here. And then where would the sun be? Let's see. So that'd be dark. This would be kind of different versions of lighter. Let's add a couple of those maybe. No, I'll wait for that. Is it time? It might be time to start one of these. Let's see, the valley is going to be darker than the mountains. This, the mountains, the valley is getting lit up. This, the valley will be darker. So maybe I should start, is it dry enough? Maybe I'll start with these mountains. So we're gonna add just a little bit into these mountains, probably a bit of purples, a little bit of something else. Yeah, there we go. And maybe even a touch of reds, because you have kind of sunset happening at the same time sunrise is happening. Such a bizarre experience. Just like, yeah, just how quickly the light changed. Kind of a speed run of the day. And then the long actual day part was just so much of it. All right, there we are. A little bit of that one right here. Here's how everything looks all together for reference. We got 2/3 of the way-ish. How are we doing on time? We're hour and 36. Yeah, I think we're moving. Like I said, it's important to kind of go a little faster, or like go faster than you think you need to at this point, because it can be so easy to kind of slow down. But it's the speed at which you did it stuff earlier that made it special and flowy and free. So you got to kind of consciously think to pick up that pace, which is a strange thing. Okay, let's do some of this right now. We're gonna be jumping down, and we now have this little thing. So this right here is this little spire, one of these little false summits, and we had a couple little bits of rock kind of coming off of it, and then there's these purples right here, followed by the darker colors of the alpenglow. Loving the alpenglow look. Yeah, isn't this kind of fun? It's my favorite. I think it's because it's so fleeting. I love how it's just so pretty, but it lasts just moments. Longer in Alaska because you have that low angle of the sun. There's a term called golden hour, which is, you have an hour of kind of this golden light. A lot of filmmakers use it. And in Alaska, you have hours of golden hour because it's just so low. You get like 3 hours of what, the rest of the world gets 1 hour of. But it's still a fleeting thing. I think Moonrise Kingdom was filmed in golden hour. There's like a bunch of really famous films that basically they just filmed in golden hour, which is an interesting take. Okay, we got these two. Let's see, looking at that. Okay, that's dark, so we'll add some of that in there. Bit of green, and then blue right over it. Okay, touch of blue. There we go. I like that green kind of the base, because then this blue sort of floats over it, but it's still there. It's just a little bit more subtle, which is really nice. There we are, something like that. As it dries too, it'll get lighter. It's this hard thing to be patient with, because you want the color to exist how it exists, but you kind of have to just like place it and just trust, which is so hard to do, but worth it. Sometimes you do wait a while just to find out that in fact it was not good, which happens and is also tragic, not a good thing. All right, we got this. I just need, let's see, how are we doing on this? I also, with where my hand is, I'm trying to do less of these right now until I can kind of move forward through all of them. So let's move up on this one right here, and we're just gonna add a little bit of brown, and then we're gonna add kind of the rest of this little sort of cliffy area. So get a little bit of these kind of little speckles. here. There you go. So that's the tent. A couple of these little speckles kind of show as a rock, and then we'll add some purples. It seems repetitive, but that's just the nature of light. It's going to affect everything kind of the same way. So once you figure out how that looks, you just do it again and again and again and again and again. The nice thing is we have multiple forms of light here, so we get to do dawn and dusk and kind of midday. Right there. Yeah, just a little bit to the top there, but that should be plenty. Lovely. Then same over here. Couple over here. Okay, it's getting there. Piece by piece. Brushstroke by brushstroke. And now I'm going to move back up here. I think probably this mountain right here. We'll do a little bit of, these were just kind of darker here with the moon too. So I'm going to get into indigo, which is kind of my favorite go-to in a lot of ways. Indigo is just a great sort of multifaceted color. And I'm just going to add it at the top, and then I'm going to use water to kind of pull it down, and that's going to give sort of that look. As you know, where like the base of mountains are sometimes a bit more misty than the top. That's what we had there. It's also potentially going to create a bloom, which makes this great texture that you could spend a lifetime with a microscope trying to recreate, or you just put a little bit of water and let the water do its work. There we are. All right. That'll do. In the great writing of Charlotte's Web. And then these up here, they just get they're kind of lighter and they get darker and darker and darker as we get closer. So up here, just get a little darker. On this one, and then same with over here. Little word, I'm messing stuff up. There we go. Okay, it's gonna be fine. This is the painting that I was hoping to do up on that ridge that day, and it just did not happen. It's so interesting to me still, like how your brain can kind of just short circuit everything. Like I appreciate and understand where I was kind of coming from, but it's fascinating, isn't it? Where it's just you can see something, and because it's there, it can affect you in a way. But what the real effect is all of this stuff, all the colors, all the landscapes, all the textures, have just been so firmly lodged into my brain that, like, when I blink, I see them. So I think I'll be painting them for a while. Sometimes you make the painting in the place, and sometimes the place makes the painting in your mind. And that's what I'm dealing with now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hey, the new soups. Hey, everybody. Welcome. You're coming in. This is the little. We've got four. I can count. We've got 4 pieces of this kind of alpine scene that I'm trying to create from the solstice here in Alaska, and this is where we're at so far. How's your stream? What was going on? Was there anything cool for the solstice? Anybody stay up super late? Or I suppose if you're on the other side of the country too, continent, not country. If you're on the other side of the continent, um, the winter solstice. Can't forget about the Australians and New Zealanders. It was good. Knitting and chatting. Amazing. Do you do more of your knitting in the winter or the summer? It seems like a winter activity to me, but also I feel like I'm always wrong on those things. No, I wish I did though. I was traveling that day by the time I was home, so just too tired. Yeah, right. I made it. So my goal was I was gonna try to go paint this view. You can kind of see it's like all the. So here's the. We're kind of night. Well, night. We don't have much night in Alaska. Almost night, sunrise, day, sunset. My plan is to paint it for 24 hours, making a painting every hour, and then it was just so gorgeous. Like I need to do a panorama, and then I fell apart because the panoramas are so much. So I only lasted 11 hours and had to go back home. So that's what I'm kind of trying to redo here. But yeah, gosh, talk about an exhausting day. Solstice, brutal. I probably knit more in the winter. Okay, good. That feels like how it should be. Especially because you got just all the good, it's the time for it. My wife currently is knitting me a Gansey, which is like an Irish fisherman's sweater that has a really cool connection here in Alaska because like we're still a fishing community. So the Gansey and its roots and its history are based in actual fishing, but there's not a lot of fishing that goes on in the places where Ganseys were developed. So there's this town in Cordova, Alaska, that has basically taken over the mantle, and all the fishermen there actually knit their own Ganseys for family and wear them, and it's so cool, like the history that's being kept alive that way. So they, in I think Ireland, whereas England, Ireland, they dye a wool the color of Cordova's water just for Cordova for knitting these Ganseys. But it turns out it's a lot, and as a very tall human, my wife is like seriously regretting her decision to knit me a Gansey. She's told me multiple times that whatever shape this sweater is what I need to become. Like she's not re-knitting it. It's just like that is your sweater. Now you fit to it. So that's my plan. I'm just hoping that it, because I could fill it out. I could do that for a sweater, especially Gansey. Exactly. You get what you get, or more like I become what I get. That is going to be the deal. So we'll give that a go. But I'm excited. Okay, so we're just kind of slowly putting together all of this. Here is this is kind of the night one right here that I'm working on. Knitting is hard in the summer because it's so busy. I like to knit in the winter because I feel snuggled up and warm. Yeah, no, I feel that. I was just saying how with the painting and it's not hard to go to sleep in Alaska in the summer. Well, it's kind of hard because there's sun all over the place. But what's hard is the fact that there is just so much guilt about not being up, like in the mountains because it's a beautiful sunny day at 9 o'clock at night or 10 or 11 o'clock here at night. And like this right here. This was 4:20 I think in the morning, and this was like the sun just went down at probably midnight, and so you have this major FOMO of just I should be out there. Like I should be out there. It's a beautiful day at 11 p.m. It's a beautiful day. Why aren't I doing these hikes? But I love the winter because when the sun sets at 4 o'clock or 3:30, and you feel totally justified in having dinner at 6 or 5 and going to bed by 6:30. Like and then if you stay up past that, you feel real cool, and like you're some kind of explorer hero who is braving the winter night, even though it might be 7. But I do love the summer. Summer's so good. It just it guilts you. It's good but judgy. Okay, this is the scary part. I'm just gonna have some indigo here. It needs to be dark to kind of do what it's gonna do, but it's also going to have a mind of its own, so at some level I can't control it. The best watercolors you really can't control either. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and that is how it is gonna be. That looks great. I think that'll do just fine. Okay, coming back up here with a little bit of this right here. We got our brown, and I'll kind of highlight. This is me on a chair. If you can look very closely, there I am in a chair. There I am without a chair up here. There are 250 of my closest friends who all were in a mountain race, who ran up there. Talk about overwhelming. And here I am, not here because I went back early because I wanted to go spend Father's Day with my family. I was like, nope, not doing 24 hours. I'm going to be a burnt husk of a person if I try that. So I didn't. And now the plan is to do a big stream on Friday. So it worked, meaning that I don't hate streaming, which is that's a good sign. You wanna survive until another day. Depending on the weather, I'm thinking, yeah, going somewhere kind of really out there, somewhere kind of cool. A little bit here, a little bit there, and we're just gonna use the water to kind of blend all of this together. So in one of those like dusk kind of moods where you can't quite tell where one mountain starts and one mountain ends, they're just sort of those shapes. That's what I want this to be right here. Leaning that indigo, whoops. It is this darkness that'll make the other things brighter, so you kind of have to do it. But it's scary because the darkness can also make things darker that you don't want to be dark, and then you're out of luck. But this is turning out just all right. There we go. I love how these changing as you work. Now I want to live on the second panel forever. Yeah, that was kind of my feel. It was just like, I absolutely lost. It was just so cool. Like, I truly do not have words for how wild that sunrise was. I'm so glad that I got to share it a little bit, but oof, yeah, that was something else. All of it was good though. You know, it's like you really get to see some cool stuff when you're up there for 24 hours. Sorry, 11 and a half. I'll get a chance. What should I do for the winter solstice? Any thoughts? I'm feeling cabin. I don't know if I can hold them. Although they make hot tents too. They make tents with stoves. Maybe that would be the real trick. But yeah. Any thoughts of what I should do for winter solstice? I could paint sun up to sundown. That's an easy commitment. 4 hours or something. Okay, so we got this. I'll let this dry just for a moment. No, let's see while it's still wet. The problem and beauty of watercolor is you kind of want everything to be connected in some of these ways. So it's an issue because it's like timing, but it's also kind of nice because you don't, when it's there, and when it's dry, you can't do much about it. So the perfectionism can kind of disappear a little quicker. There we go. Okay. So there we go. We come kind of 2 down, 2 to go. I'm working kind of top down a little bit just because I need somewhere to put my hands. So it's moving kind of slowly, but it's still moving. We have this little one. If this is dry, and that looks dry, so let's put some of this in right now. We've got a little bit of some brown coming up, and then I'll add a lot of these darker tones right now. Bit of purple, bit of brown. And here's that one little section that's kind of the little alpenglow pinnacle. Right there. Leaning into those purples too. This is kind of a green section, but green in the shadows, kind of a purpley tone. There's also just green, so I'll put some green in there too. And then maybe a bit of brown. There we are. There's that. Helping glow. How do you feel? How's it looking? Do you have any traditions up there? Candlelight ski, bonfire, winter solstice celebrations? There are a bunch, yeah. Like I think most people kind of have their own little bit of a winter solstice, which is cool. One year I did go up under the mountain and sketch sundown to sunup, and that was because I wanted to paint the longest night. I wanted to paint the longest day. I wanted to paint the longest night, and it was a lot. Um, it was so cold. I think it was like -18 or something for quite a bit of time, just with the wind, and it was not the most fun thing that I've ever done, which is gonna come as a shock. But I did dig a little trench in the snow. It was closer to 0 in my trench, but outside of my trench in the wind, it was like close to -20. Very miserable. Nice painting, sort of. I don't know. It took all night long because it kept on freezing. Even at pure gin levels, kept on freezing. So that was exciting. But I think I could do something similar to that maybe. We'll see. Okay, we got this. Loving that. Loving this. So cool. And then we'll just kind of keep on adding these layers up here until they get darker and darker and darker, and eventually become just a little bit more sort of distinct from the background. There we go. Now, one kind of fun development. So there's two exciting updates. One is I'm trying to figure out this book side of things. We made for weeks and weeks and weeks. We were filming the process of this. So we have a little test copy of the book here, and I was actually able to give it away at the Forever Chemical Conference to affected community members, which is really exciting because that was kind of the whole rush. But then also, we're going to try to kind of push to get it done here sooner than later so that it can be available if you're ever interested in a copy. Still a lot of pieces to kind of fix. I need to explain some of the changes I'd made too, in case we want to make some changes back. But also, when it comes to my grandma's sketchbook, which if you're just joining, my grandma's the one who taught me how to paint. She left behind 6,000 sketches from all over the world, and it's my dream to kind of get to paint with her again by finding those places and painting the same thing in the same place with the same materials, because it only lines up in one place. And our plans are to try to be able to do more of that, but with this being able to live stream outside now and figuring out this technology, I'm seeing a way where we could literally bring you along with on the live stream. So say like she made it, her sketch would look like this, and then she'd make it in fancy watercolor, but it would only line up in one place. So I could potentially take her sketch and then find the place and color it in live, and actually kind of like, it'd be like live GeoGuessr meets Bob Ross. So the technology is like getting to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, we could actually take you with. And it's places like Antarctica and Iceland and the Galapagos and all kinds of cool stuff. So fingers are so crossed that we can pull that off, especially kind of starting next year. But if you're ever interested, we have a fun little newsletter that we put together that we'll share all the updates there. Izzy said, I was thinking painting lots of little skiers. Oh, with the dots of light and the bonfire and the snow would be pretty. Oh yeah, for the winter solstice. Not sure how much fun to sketch / paint on site. I'm thinking that the real thing I'm missing is a cabin. I think that the real trick is just to find like the most cozy spot that you possibly can, and then that is where you become the studio, not necessarily just finding like the most comfortable snow pile, which has sort of been my go-to in the interim. I think there's a real opportunity to track down, like, just use this as an excuse to find the coziest possible spots, and then we all just get to sit there and make a painting in some really cool spot. Like, there's some gorgeous cabins out there. Why shouldn't we go like sketch in these cool places and kind of show you that process? Be a good excuse to, like, shamelessly for me, it'd be a great excuse to go barge my way into these cabins, but then vicariously we could see some cool stuff, I think. Okay, that's almost done. We got this one right here. This is one of the last ones. We just need, what one is this here? Oh my gosh, this is getting to look so cool. I just like saw it for the first time at like the side angle. Okay, now actually these ones down here, I might want to add some of these little ones here just to give them kind of time to dry, if that makes sense. So what were they going to look like? They're going to kind of look like, yeah, they're kind of far off, so they'll be a little bit blue, a little bit kind of greenish. That's purple, that's not blue. A little bit blue, a little bit greenish. Oh, way too much blue. But right here, potentially add little bits here. Still a lot of snow up there. A lot of snow. Okay, so we got a couple of those. And just a few of these kind of light blue little layers, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let water kind of flow and mix all of that together. Just like this. Ooh, that is lovely. Yep, that's exactly it. That's 100% what it looks like. Great. Cool. Also, how about this? That is absolutely working for me. I don't know what you're feeling, but that is, the problem is it's like it's gonna dry lighter, but hey, you know, it's a start. Just add a little bit more of that alpenglow. This little bit in the back, I'm gonna have to kind of blue up that snow here in just a second. All right. Whew. Maybe a little stretch break. I feel like with art, you can kind of get so into something you forget just how you've been just doing the same motion. I'm sure knitting is a similar way, or crochet or any of that. You're a fine motor athlete is what you are, but it's we don't get treated like it. All the good physios and stuff are for everybody throwing big rocks or trying to kick balls. But you know, you try to knit a sweater, make a painting, and all of a sudden, what are you even doing? Okay, so we got this one. Now, what are these kind of back mountains going to look like? They are going to be, yeah, they're going to be just a touch of, they're going to be kind of the same deal. They're going to be kind of these blues, greens, sort of over here, like this. And just moving it forward. I got some like real apocalyptic worries the other day. Does anybody just have one of those where all of a sudden you just get the doom? It's like doom scrolling in your own mind. Not like depression, just sort of like the feel of where it's like, oh my gosh, like AI and politics, like what if everything is real bad in the future? Maybe it's because I was listening to the Hail Mary Project, and Strat was just giving Grace the like kind of like, this is what happens if you fail talk, and it was like, oh, are we headed for that? Like we're kind of in some scary situations, and yeah, and it's like, all of a sudden I'm thinking about, oh no, like what if things are really bad, or what if there's like a food shortage or all of these things, and nothing I'd had to worry about in like a massively privileged lifestyle that I have. And I had this funny, yeah, I haven't make an effort not to doom brain these days, right? And I had a funny thought of like, you know what, like, well, two funny thoughts. First, it's like, should I be doing more? You know, should I stockpile rice or something like that? That was the first thought. And then the second thought was, you know, so long as I have a sketchbook, like the worst can happen, but at least like we'll be in it together and I can sketch this stuff. You know, in a full apocalypse, I'm probably sketching. At the end of those movies before the asteroid hits and all of that, in my memory, I've, you know, hopefully hugging family and stuff, but like I'm holding a sketchbook to the end, and it's such a funny thing, but just the simple concept of like I have a sketchbook and like I'd be painting and sketching is it's like you can kind of dissociate and just observe the world for whatever it is, and it made it so much less scary. But I'm also glad to know that there are other of you who also have the doom brain. Watching the global community blow up by watching the global community blow by every global temperature milestone. Yeah, and I was just in the PFAS conference. I'm learning all about the forever chemicals that are in everything, and it is knucking futs, as they say, like that we are not doing more stuff about it. It's like, what? Literally, when I'm watching you, I'm working on a map of the watershed I live in, and I keep thinking about how many of these creeks and are dry and polluted now. Yeah, it's like, whoa. It's a lot. But also, so much of it is because we want stuff. Like we want things, and we're willing to do so much to get them, but then I feel like we don't even really appreciate them. Like I can't fault say somebody in China for wanting their own car, because I have my own car and I want my own car and I have my own car. But like if everybody has their own car, then we're all in a bad spot. But also when you drive, you like see the HOV lane and just how few people are sharing their car. And it just seems like one of these things where it's like we don't appreciate the stuff we actually have. And it's like, but then we're destroying stuff just to make more of it. Oh, here's Eve. Hello.
Hey, how long are you streaming today?
I was hoping that I'd be able to wrap this up, but I started a bit late. You want to see it?
No, because I have both children and pots of water on the stove.
Okay.
And I'm trying to.
Do you want me to come in?
I just was wondering if you're joining us for lunch. It sounds like no.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do lunch afterwards. I kind of feel like we should finish this up, although she seems kind of mad. Speaking of doom brain, getting in trouble on live. We're going to start by eating a peanut butter pretzel. And then we'll be fast. Think we can do this fast? Or should I go in? Hey, you know what I can do? Why don't I should probably go in. Like I said, sometimes you need to do things so you live to see another day. Temperature-wise, exposure-wise, very important to be safe. Wife-wise, that's what's probably going to get me in the end. So I think I'm going to go and go inside, help out a little bit, get some lunch, and so I'll wrap up the stream right now. But I'll finish this up. I'll film the rest of the process, and I'll put it into a vlog. If you don't already, on the Trailbound Sketches YouTube, we do have little vlogs. So we're taking the streams and we're breaking them down into little vlogs. So if you get a chance right now, go subscribe to the Trailbound Sketches YouTube. I'll put it out there likely, what'll it be? Maybe Friday? Maybe Tuesday? Anyway, subscribe so you'll know. And then on Friday, I'll be doing a live stream out in the middle of nowhere-ish, maybe. It'll be cool. It's going to work. It's not going to be 11 hours, but this Friday morning in Alaska, which is like afternoon on the East Coast, tune in on Friday. And yeah, I'll on the newsletter and all kinds of stuff. I'll kind of post the finished version of this one. I'm going to go inside, so I make it to the next live stream. So that's the plan here. But if you want a close look, let me show you where we're at. Oh wait, it's gonna be super hard to do. You're gonna have to wait for the video. I'm sorry. You have to wait and see it all. But thank you for everybody who tuned in here. Let me, is there anybody super fun to raid right now on the Twitch side? Who would be neat? Just eating all the peanut butter pretzels. Oh, Liz is up. Oh, great. Let's go by there. Oh, wait. Is that in real life? No, this is a clip. Liz is not there. I'm just watching ads here. Oh. Am I doing something interesting? No, hold on. What is even happening here? There's... Who's actually online? I just keep on seeing these clips and being like, oh my gosh, this person's there, and it's like I'm getting tricked. Where? Let's see. Who is live right now? Who would be good to raid? There seems like I am not doing a great job on this. Just checking on the art side. Oh, just scroll past myself. And no strong opinions from this crew? That's okay. I need to have more friends on Twitch. I need to find out who's the cool ones to hang out with. There's something cool going on in Alveus. Let's see. Oh, it's the Alveus subathon. Ah, I see. Okay. Is Liz on? No, I don't think I Paint Burbs is on, right?
The other night.
Nope. Okay, that was just a story. Alveus and the World Bird Sanctuary are always good. That's true. World Bird Sanctuary is awesome. Let's jump on to Alveus. They do some great stuff here. Let's see. Dash raid Alveus. Oh, Purple Martin Conservation is online now. Great. Let's do it. Purple. Conservation. I can do this. Can I? Yes. All right. There we go. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'll wave goodbye to YouTube right now and raid us all off here in just a moment. But I am so excited where this is going. I can't wait to show you the full one. It'll be on YouTube. But then check in on Friday. I'll be somewhere cool. Maybe living in a drone. We'll take you up in the air. It's gonna be really fun. And can't wait to share a little bit more soon. So thank you. And yeah, especially for your patience. And go enjoy some sun. Or don't. There's too much out there.